Good morning, everyone. I got a little bit of a distraction happening today, so I was going to be getting into this pile today, but I got something a little more exciting to do, which I'm fine with. I like being able to be distracted by something that's equally as entertaining as all the work I have to do on that thing. So maybe I think it was like a month ago, my neighbor she sent me a message and she said that the power company had tagged a bunch of the walnut trees on her property that they line the street. They're by the power lines. They tagged them for removal, and she's pretty upset about that. And rightfully so. They provide a lot of screening and privacy from the road, and they're just really cool looking, gnarly trees. Um, so she asked me if I'd have any interest in taking them, and not having them just go to waste. And kind of looking at that, I'm like, well, there's not really going to be that much of a demand for these trees. There's a lot of like hollow sections, and because they were under the power lines, they were pruned pretty strangely and aggressively over the years. So they're traditionally not great looking saw logs, but for some crazy person like me, they're perfect. So I was in town getting some degreaser so I can start cleaning the skid steer before I start working on it. Then she sent a message saying, hey, they're here. Can you stop by and talk to them and make sure they cut them in the right spot for you? So stopped over there. They talked to them. They got most of them down already. And they were like, well, we told the guy who comes by to pick up all the brush to leave the logs, but not 100% guarantee. And I'm like, well, I'm going to need my skid steer, ideally, to do this. I really don't want to drive the telehandler over there or try and pick all these up with a log arch. And I got to start working on the skid steer. So I'm like, well, today is the perfect day to go over there and do this. They're not big trees, and there's a lot of them. So the easiest thing for me is to just load up the skid steer with the grapple, bring this over there, throw the logs on the trailer, and then come back here with the logs, drop the logs off, and go back and pick up the skid steer. It's not a big deal. I think it's about 1.5 miles up the road, something like that. So should be a fun little adventure, and less greasy than working on a skid steer. I am turning a wrench though, so I couldn't escape that at least. My favorite thing to forget to do, put the pins in on the attachment plate. The number of times I've dropped this attachment because I forgot to lock it in is embarrassing. Okay, this might come in handy. I think I got everything. We'll see. Can I drive in here?
Yes. Yeah.
That might be a little bit easier. I don't want to really be in the street that much.
You can drive over here.
Okay, let's do that.
Yeah.
And I don't have to be in their way for when they come and get the brush either.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why I'm staying. They trimmed it. I'm not sure how you convince them to let you leave that one when they all kind of look the same.
I don't know either. I tried.
They all kind of were the same thing, like.
Yeah. I just did. I don't really know, actually.
Because to me, as an outside observer, it doesn't make any difference that one versus all the other ones. They can trim them all the same way.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree. I don't know how I did.
You manifested it.
I did. I was like, I'm keeping that one. I don't know how that happened. But I do love the tree. I think it's cool.
Oh,
I
it's
love
gorgeous.
the
That's a
arm.
gorgeous
But I
tree.
just don't really want it gone. So, I mean, I love that knob. Is that what the burl is?
That's the burl, yeah.
Yeah, probably be interesting to make
That's,
something out of.
I mean, out of all the ones here, that's the best saw log.
Is it? I'm sorry. I didn't actually know that.
It's fine. I prefer them like this, alive.
I just think it's beautiful. And now I'll probably do a painting of it because
Oh, that'd be beautiful.
it's
Yeah,
a survivor.
that's a great idea.
Right?
Oh, yeah, I seen the sign. I was like, wow, maybe we got a little
I forgot to introduce her while we were out here, but that's my neighbor, Cammie, and she is a painter. That's her studio behind me. She does some pretty awesome work and is an instructor as well. So here's what's going on. I thought they were a little further along, but apparently it's lunchtime now, so they're taking lunch. They have looks like two more trees to drop. They've got kind of these ones here, pretty well ready to go. So while I'm killing time, I guess, I'm gonna get the skid steer over here, get some of these things piled together a little better, do a little prep work there. I got some end sealers, so maybe we'll just go ahead and seal some of the ends now. Keep myself busy. Not a big deal. It's a gorgeous day. So I'm okay with killing time today because it's spring. I think this one's gonna be too heavy, but it's gotta get cut to sawmill log sizes anyway, so I'm gonna try and get it away from the street a little bit. The sprockets are done. Yeah, I guess we won't be getting it anywhere. Okay, well, I'm waiting for the guys to get back from lunch so I can finish that. Cammie's gonna give us a little tour of her studio.
And the whole reason that I bought this farm is because of this view here in this barn. I knew that this could be an amazing studio and that this is where I want to spend every day painting and creating. And the spring peepers and the orchestra and the red-winged blackbirds are just, yeah. I actually believe that those sounds come through in the painting when you're doing it from life. I do. I just think, I don't know, it's just amazing. So this was an old barn, and kind of the inspiration for purchasing this place and making this the studio. And I love the big, huge open ceilings. And of course, setting over the marsh. I just think it's really, really peaceful and soothing. The idea of this studio and this whole property is for others to come and paint and become inspired and have kind of a respite. So this is the home of the St. Croix River School of Painting, which I founded in 2008. This is a piece that I've done recently. It's still in the works here. And that is not the marsh, but the pond where I grew up, which is just 6 miles from here. And this little trail right here is where the otters swim back and forth all day long. It's really interesting. There's a family of 5.
Oh, cool.
So they make a path. They're so cute, though. They like lay on their backs, and the dad's kind of behind, and the mom's kind of corralling them, and it's really neat. You know, I travel all over the place. This is Maui, the St. Croix Valley, which is here, Arizona. This was in a Palm Desert exhibition in California. It came back. Another Maui piece, Sedona. I think most people recognize that. This is Scotland. And then that's Italy. And these are all places I've been in the last year. Here's an interesting piece. Let's see, I don't know if you're gonna be able to see this. This is the one and only painting ever done of Warren Mackenzie, who's a famous potter. He actually lived in the St. Croix Valley. I asked him if I could come in his studio with him for a week and just watch him work. And I asked if I could paint him, and he said no. And then on day 3, he said, I guess you can get your easel. So I'm thinking that's probably going to end up in a museum at some point. But yeah, that's pretty special to watch him work and his consummate quality of just making pots, because there's nothing. He said, I go, do you paint or do you throw pots every day? And he said, yes. And I said, why every day? And he goes, because there's nothing else I've found that I like to do better.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that cool? I'm like, ooh, right?
Yeah.
I said, okay, this is the real deal. So he is the real deal. So all of these are just, not just, but they are paintings I've done and traveled, and almost every state I've painted in, and a few countries. I love trees a lot. And Excel was going to take the old black walnuts down, and a little bit of I tried to try to stop them. But anyways, I couldn't totally stop them. We did save one really big, beautiful one, though. But I messaged Matt and his wife, Lindsay. I'm like, hey, is there anything anyone can do? And if they take them down, will you take these and do something beautiful with them? So he said yes. And about a month ago, they said anytime in the next couple of months. And this morning, they showed up. I'm like running out there in my pajamas practically. Wait. And so here Matt is, and we're doing this today.
This became my day.
This is the day. And it's kind of a fun day. It's like we're just doing what we do.
I'm very much okay with the way today turned out.
Me too. Yeah. I kind of like it. It's a good day.
You said you're going to come up on the sawmill. So
I'm going to come and watch this
You're going to see it.
Like I can't wait to see like the colors and what like the swirls. I definitely don't think they're called swirls.
You can call them whatever you want.
But like all the lines, I can't wait. They smell good. They do.
I just have you over there sniffing all the slabs.
I'm like, this smells like earth. They do. They smell.
It's very earthy.
It's very earthy. This is called Planal Fruit. The whole thing with painting is that you're teaching about light and shadow and form. And so every time there's a plane change on a form, there's a color change, and color and value kind of go hand in hand. So I thought I was doing a really stellar job of teaching my students what planes were and how to roll the form of the plane change. And this one day, this lady, I come up to her, Angela was her name, and she's doing some like tricky little flick with her brush. And I said, oh, what are you doing? And she was, I'm rolling the form. And I was perplexed, and as endearing as that was, as a teacher and someone that really, really has a passion for truly teaching people how to see, because if you can't see the plane changes and you can't see the color, you can't create the illusion of light or whatever you're painting on a two-dimensional surface, which is your canvas. So I went home and I'm frustrated, and the kids are doing their homework, and there's a bowl of fruit on my table. And my son was always really active, and I would always have Sculpey for him to kind of play with his hands. And I'm looking, and I'm seeing the plane changes so clearly on my bowl of pears. And I'm thinking, why can't they see them? And I just start sculpting planes out of the Sculpey. And I start baking it. It cracked at first, and I just got completely obsessed with trying to figure this out. Finally, I got a good set. I made them all by hand in my oven. I had a little hand sander to plane these down. Everything was white in my house with powder because the fine dust went everywhere, and and that's just the way it was. And I started bringing these into the class, and everybody was like, you have to make these. I can't believe they could see planes on everything. They could see planes on trees. They could see planes in fruit and vases and flowers. and their paintings were changing. I mean, they were just, I was like, what in the world? And I was raising my kids at the time as a single mom and an artist, and they wanted me to make more. Years later, my book, Color Relativity, came out, and I featured these in the book. So I went through, hired a sculptor, Jim Shoup, and he made molds for me, custom molds. And my friend Dana opened a little LLC, and she hand pours all the plaster. And these are each hand done. These are very, very time consuming and tedious. And you get a set of a pear and a lemon and an apple, but you can see on here. I mean, can you even see on the camera? Like every time I turn, that every single plane changes as I turn it towards and away from the light.
Yeah, the color.
The color and the value. So value is a range or a scale of light to dark. And this is your lighter, and then it's darker. And foreshortened, and I think Matt would know about this, foreshortening planes. So here's a full-on plane, but as I turn it away from the camera, you, the viewer, sees this as shorter. So as a painter, we don't get to put that in. We have to actually do a scale and proportion, and we have to learn to see what happens as form moves. And if you can't paint these, you can't paint a tree. So these have a variety of shorter and longer planes. And this one is specifically designed to study reflected light, which we're not going to be able to see right now because it has to be on a flat surface. But the idea of reflected light is that's in the realm of shadow.
Reflected light coming off the surface.
Yes, so it would bounce down and it would bounce up into a shadow, but it has to be held within the realm of shadow. So people have the opportunity to study that. And these are some of the studies that I've done in my classes for people. These are toilet paper rolls.
I was afraid to say that.
Yeah, toilet paper. These paintings are named Scott. So the reason that I have really for real toilet paper, though, is to show the half tone, the shadow, and these actually advance from the Planal Fruit. Here's some Planal Fruit that I did without putting all the planes in. Here's one that I began to do the half-tone planes. So they do these in steps. It's really helping people a lot, which feels good. Mm-hmm. They can see it. If they can see it, then they can believe it and understand it.
Well, should we see if they're...
Yeah.
It sounds like they might be back to work. Well, thanks for showing us around.
Yeah, thanks for coming to my studio. I appreciate it. I can't wait to see what you do with all the...
You'll see it.
Black walnut. I am going to see it. I'm going to be there when you're...
And then you'll have a vision for it.
Yeah, I'm excited.
There's those. Take these little cookies. Ugh. Stick these in the bed. I don't even know what I'm doing with this. Making a mess is what I'm doing. Probably should have put the big one on first. I'll come back for that one. Okay, that one I'm gonna have to kind of lift up one end and shove it on the trailer. It's a little too heavy to kind of get in the air nicely. The next one in the row here is also kind of a little bit heavy, but it's a trunk with a crotch, and then the limbs go up several feet. So I'm gonna go ahead and trim this one down a little bit so that it can actually get picked up out of here. Yeah, this is a cool one. I'm not sure if that's a burl or an old limb or something, but It's so straight through here. I think I'm gonna trim it right here, and that'll give a little bit of extra limb here above the crotch that you could use if you wanted to use, like this is a live edge coffee table or something, and incorporate a little bit of a split there. Or I could just come up here and just trim. I could trim a little further up too. I might do that. Coming right here, that'd be a nice little small crotch section. This will be another kind of crotch section, and that should drop enough weight so I can actually get this thing out of here. Probably just gonna haul this back and then come back for, I think they just have one more over there. I could try and like Jenga that one on here or Tetris that one on here. Well, not Jenga, I guess this is kind of Jenga, it's blocks. I could try and Tetris this thing in here or whatever, but this one's got a bunch of walnuts in it. All right, there's the first load. Let's go for a quick drive and dump these off. Oh, oh yeah, just turn around the field. How horrible could that be? Oh, all right. Drop them here. Okay. Building a grapple for this thing is on my very long to-do list. It's not a big deal for like the big stuff that I get, but man, the small stuff's obnoxious. It takes so much more work than the logs that weigh like, I don't know, several thousand pounds. Okay, there's that one. Little ant farm going on this one. Sculpture. Okay. How heavy is this? Not too bad. All right, let me pick this guy out of here and I can go back. It takes longer to unload than it takes to actually go back and forth. This one's just mush. It's an epoxy log. Away from the jack. There we go. Okay. Oh, come on. Okay. This little thing off the trailer, and then we're good, I think. Whatever. All right. Let's go pick up some more wood. Woof. Let's see what I can do to finagle this thing onto here. If I really wanted to mess with it, I could take the grapple off and sling it and lift it that way, but I don't really want to do that right now. That would give me a lot more lift capacity because the grapple's so heavy. One thing I don't like is the hydraulic lines will tangle or twist up if you let it keep swinging around too much. I'm gonna go and see what else is down there, I guess. There's a stump right there. Holy crap. Not ready for that. There we have this super long one with a crotch in it, so I think we'll give this one a little cut right here. And that's, I don't know, probably 10-footer. That's like a 6. There's this kind of weird squiggly one here too. There's a stump from that one. And then there's one kind of over yonder. So, I don't know what I'm going to do here first. There's actually a lot more wood here than I expected. Okay, those 3 there are loaded. The tree guys just pulled away, so I can get a little bit closer and get the last. There's 2 more that I got to pull out, and there's the 1 tree that I got left. That's a cool looking tree. I don't know how she convinced them to leave just this one because they all were kind of the same, but maybe this one just happened to branch away from the power lines just enough. I think this one's going to be an epoxy tree. There's like not much left of it. Okay, this last one is buried behind all this brush. So I don't really know the best way to get at it. I might come back in here, and it's gonna be a long drive. I can't really go through there either, so maybe I'll scoot some of this brush aside and try and come through here. Well, it's up there. It's way up there. All right, let's go get this pile home. Okay, I gotta go run and pick up the kids from school, but we'll take the trailer and we'll go pick up the skid steer after picking up kids. Okay, where are you going? Please go over there. Okay, thank you.
I drove it.
Who wants to grab the chains?
Me.
All right, grab some chains. I need 4 of those and 3 chains. Yep. Okay, Eloise. Take the hook and put it through here. Feed it through. Feed it. We're not hooking here, so just keep coming through. Feed the chain through. Watch your fingers. Watch your fingers. Like that. And then pull it through. Okay. We need enough to go here. We're going to go right here. You see where I'm going? I'm right here.
Yeah.
We're going to go right to this pocket.
Okay.
And we're going to hook it here. Okay.
Okay.
And then this we slide in here.
Okay.
Okay. And now you take this and go through the other side. Come all the way through. We're not hooking here, remember? We don't hook here. We're just going through. There you go. Don't put it here yet. Pull it through. Okay, now we can, you want to seat it in there? Put the link in the slot. Okay, and now remember where that goes? Through there, yep. Drop it down through, and then you put the hook onto the pocket.
Like hook it?
Yep, we can put it right here though, so it's out of the way.
What are these for?
And then we come down here, and we just pull as much as we can, and we just get it on whichever link we can. Okay, and we flip this because that was out, and then we just crank this down. You want to crank it?
Yeah.
Put it down to the deck. There you go. Done. Other side.
Can I do the exercise?
Yep. Hook it
Where?
where you can, I guess. Hold there. Is that a good spot?
Yeah.
Watch out, Max.
I wanna hook it.
Yep, hang on. Flip that down. All right, go. Yep.
That's good.
It's good. Yep, watch your foot. Okay, let's go set up the front here. Yep, you got it, Max. Wow. Didn't even have to tell you what to do. Okay, good. Back with it. There you go. Max, we're not doing that. We're not going there. Because we only need one. This is one chain. It's not 2 anchor points. We're going to go over the, we're going to go through here. We're going to hook this thing down. We're going to tie down the grapple. Let's get the grapple tied down. Where's that last chain, guys? Okay.
Can I do it?
Yeah, we'll do it. We're going to, hang on.
I don't put the side ones.
Yep, you can go right there. That's fine. That's perfect. That's what those are for.
I wanna do it. I don't wanna do it.
It's okay, Ellie. We're almost done. Then we're going to go home and get ready for karate. Fine, do this one. Hook that one up. Do you remember how to hook it? Look at the other one. Look how the other one's done. Right here, look at this one. Nice. Very good. You can pull the slack out of there now. Okay. And we'll put a binder right here in the middle, okay? Huh? You gotta like let some of that through first. Now you can lift it up. There.
Not heavy.
Oh yeah, not heavy, huh? Should we get rid of this trailer?
Yeah. Come on.
Okay, there is the first pile, or one of the piles. There's one of the piles. They're all kind of intertwined together. So the bigger logs, I guess, are over here. And then these guys over here are the other ones. I guess these are actually sort of big too. But we also have the smaller offcuts of, I don't know, one of the ones in that pile. So they're all kind of mixed in here together. You know, interestingly with this, that, you know, from like a traditional standpoint, these are not quality logs by any means. They have all kinds of inclusions and defects, and this one's, you know, full of ants. So from like a traditional standpoint, a lot of these aren't like good saw logs. Like even this being solid, but it's got what looks to be a bark inclusion and a crotch in it. That's not traditionally all that useful or valuable or desirable, I guess. But for someone like me that celebrates the beauty that is wood and the weird things that trees do as they grow, you know, this stuff is absolutely perfect. Like this one here, there's not much left of that thing. But I guarantee you it's gonna look pretty cool on the inside, and it can still become something pretty darn amazing. So I definitely wanna say a big thank you to Cami for taking the time out of the day to show us her studio and talk about her art and all the things that she's doing. It's, at least for me, it's incredibly refreshing and inspiring to be able to speak to someone who's so accomplished in their field and as a creative, just getting connected to other creative people and having discussions and having those talks really, at least to me, inspires me to like get out here and work harder and do more things and come up with more stuff. It's a very refreshing feeling, and it's invigorating. I guess at this point, I can't procrastinate anymore. It's time to give this thing some love and do everything that it needs, so that's fun. This is my most used and useful tool, and having it not be available for whatever duration of time it takes to do all the work on this is kind of troubling. So you'll see a video on all the things we'll be working on this thing at some point too. But that's gonna do it for this one. Thank you as always for watching. I greatly appreciate. If you have any questions or comments on going to pick up logs at your neighbor's house, please feel free to leave me a comment. As always, I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have. And until next time, happy woodworking.